You have reached the public service. Ask yourself one question. Are you a taker or a maker? As with any situation in life, is your situation taking or making you happy? This is the Public Service Show, and I'm Sandra.
And I'm Kirk.
And today, hello, honey.
Hi,
We're
we're
going to talk about what our tagline means. Are you a taker or a maker? A friend of ours that lives in the Virgin Islands, a very tropical place that we seem to be quite jealous of, asked us to expand on our tagline. So I said that's a done. It's done.
We can
Consider
do
it
that.
done.
We can do that.
So to give you examples of what we think are makers and takers, here we go.
I'm looking at this ages 1 through 10. Well, I guess ages 1 through 10 you might be a taker completely, simply because I'm not sure you make a whole lot. But you know what? That's not necessarily true. Let's keep it age appropriate. 1 through 10. Well, let's just say when you are under the age of 5, you're kind of a taker, but at the same time, you could make people happy. You could make someone's day nice. You could make your mother and father's experience nice, and you can make your teachers nice, and all the people at your daycare or preschool or...
Well,
what do you think?
Ages 1 to 10 pretty much establishes your personality. We've all gone through grocery stores and we've seen children. Some we would love to take home, and others we would like to never encounter again. So I'll give you my example of a young child that's a giver. That's a maker. Child in the basket being very quiet, asks for one thing. The mother says, no, we can't afford it. The child doesn't scream, doesn't yell. That's an understanding child who will later on be a maker. Why? Because the compassion for the parent.
Yeah.
And then I've been in grocery stores. Okay. I've been in a grocery store with my own child. I'm just going to drop dime here. And I told him at the age of 2, because I was teaching him to count, that he could have 3 things, one more than his age. And I wanted him to understand counting and how much it meant and to stay within the rules. So we go in the store, and as we're going down the aisles, he picked 2 things and then his 3rd. He saw a 4th thing, and I said, no, you're only allowed 3 things. He screamed at the top of his lungs, have it, have it, have it, and threw himself on the filthy floor. I looked at him and I said, I am taking you to your father right now. So I was that parent. I left the basket. I put the child in the car. I took him to his father, and his father said, what did he do? And I go, ask him. Because he was crying when I took him home. I went back, purchased my goods without the 3 things. Had to make a solid point. He never did that again. He was very well behaved in the stores from then on.
Aha, okay.
One lesson. So my child that day was a taker. The little brat was a taker. And I learned. But I correct behavior very quickly. It's an instantaneous kind of a thing. That's the kind of parent I am. I don't wait until he's 15 years old socking me in the head and calling me names, right?
I got you.
That's a taker. But if you teach them when they're young, there you go. So that was...
Okay, that makes sense.
And a taker as a child is also a bully.
Yes. I didn't
I
even
think
think about. Well,
bullies are
I
takers.
guess you could be bullying up at the age of 10.
I've
That's
seen
when you start.
5-year-olds
Yeah,
bullying other ones.
that's a good point.
I had a cousin. Don't like her to this day. Hmm. Keep that in mind. When you come from big families like I do, you get all kinds of cousins everywhere and stuff like that, and you're not always going to get along. And some of them try to bully you. I had one that tried to bully me.
Okay.
So that's what I think, 1 through 10, taker or maker. But then you have wonderful kids out there that will share with you. You're lonely, will sit with you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That kind of thing. So those are makers too.
Okay, I get
They're
you.
making connections.
That's true.
Right?
The kids that help each other in class or help the teacher. Okay, I got it. I'm on your page now.
Yeah,
okay.
you see what I'm...
Took me a minute to get through there,
so
but
they're
I got
making
it.
connections. They're making, friends. Maybe not for life because it's elementary school, but you could.
Makes sense to me.
Positive or negative encounters. If it's a negative encounter, I consider that a taker.
Okay. I'm on that page.
So we go through 10 through 15. This is when you really try to establish who you are, right?
Yeah.
And you're going through puberty too. So, there could be some ugly making and taking. There's some serious bullying and fighting in schools.
Oh, my goodness.
But then you start forming those connections with people like you because you're trying to find out who you are. So making connections with people that are like-minded, they're the age of 10 and 15 is kind of cool. Right?
And this is kind of where it really gets into the social media as well, especially the kids this day and age where they're either supporting their friends or bullying each other online. And, this day and age, it's a lot worse than what we had it. When you're in school, back when we were in school, you dealt with the takers and the makers at school. But when you went home,
they weren't there.
But that's now right. The kids go home and the first thing they do is fire up the phone and bam, the bullies are there. I mean, their friends are there too, but the bullies are there and they're there all the time. And the reach, now if somebody bullies you, they bully you in a group of hundreds of people now.
Exactly. Because they feel untouchable at this point.
Yeah.
And bullies do not harm people alone. They don't like that. Bullies need their backup. Those are the people that are encouraging them to do the worst thing, right? And they're always in a group. Always. Mm-hmm. Because they just can't stomach the fact that, taking on somebody one-on-one. These are takers. Taking away a negative, going up against somebody one-on-one.
That really, takers are a negative.
Right.
And makers are a positive.
That's exactly right. That's why they don't get along. And so at that age, you're going to find that a lot of children decide what kind of person they're going to be.
Good point.
At those ages, they decide whether they are going to be the creative types that come into their own and put out a spin or create something wonderful, music, whatever, engineering, whatever it is. They're going to put that out. The takers are the ones that are in the lunchroom stealing your money. Already decided that they're going to have a long prison sentence. And so as everybody else is graduating, they turn around to the ones that aren't and say, have fun in prison.
Just start off in the principal's office.
Right. It starts there. After they beat up, bully, stealing lunch money, those are takers. Right. I mean, you can describe that. Yeah.
Well said.
So.
All right.
We don't even need to go. We should just jump right to this.
Yeah, because 15 through 20, ages 15 through 20, they're still growing. I mean, in 20 is just an extension on into college, which is basically the same thing.
And you're right. Similar. And if you're still doing the same things you were doing when you're 10, 15 years old, being a bully and all these are, you have severely, retarded your growth.
Yeah.
Okay. Because at that point, your arrested development is definitely being a taker. And if you're still doing the same things you were doing in school after the age of 20,
You have a long road ahead of you.
of what?
Prison sentences.
And disassociation with people, being lone, because a lot of people don't want to be around you. The only people that you can hang around are other criminal types.
Oh, yeah.
And because you can't be yourself in
Yep.
regular company, because you can't have a conversation. Hey, I robbed that person over there. I mean, get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you know,
But
there's
and
also...
then the social media is a wonderful way for them to hide too.
Oh, you know how I call it. I mean, these are the people that hide behind their keyboard, and some people call them the keyboard warriors.
You do.
They're sitting in their tidy whities in the basement somewhere, lying about who they are, saying they're dating people halfway around the world.
Really?
Oh my goodness, yes. It's
God.
these people online dating. I mean, let's not get started. But they sit in their tidy whities in their basement and they just abuse people. A lot of these people are these child pedophile, watching kiddie porn and all this other nasty stuff and objectifying women and just all around. And it's predominantly male, I have to say. I mean, as far as that kind of thing goes, I mean, the bullying is gender unspecific, but
women bully more than men.
They do.
Let's just be honest.
That's true.
We tear each other apart for sport.
Yeah.
Because
good point.
I think in a lot of ways that we've been indoctrined into that. I mean, men objectify us. If we're not perfect, they tell us off. And somehow we women also do that to each other. And I don't really like it.
I don't understand why.
It's funny because it's not funny. It's a taker, right? It's a takeaway. And there are times I catch myself doing that. And I'm like, what am I doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knock that off, right? And I just feel like we get enough abuse already. I mean, Jesus, we're this close to The Handmaid's Tale. If you don't know what that is, it's Margaret Atwood's book, The Handmaid's Tale. This close, which means that they really want to take from us.
It's scary to think. We were watching some news this morning, and it was enlightening. I thought the whole thing was fiction. It was very enlightening to find out that every single one of those books, episodes, shows is based on real life incidences, which is scary. If you've seen the show, that's a scary proposition. That's a scary thought to think that those things are going on right now in the world.
It's horrifying. And Margaret herself was on the news talking about how she wouldn't put it in her book unless she found instances of these things. And this is a fly in mouth moment where you're like,
okay.
Because I've seen The Handmaid's Tale. I'm frightened, and I'm watching the next series called Testaments. You guys should check it out. Because I convinced him to watch it just like I convinced him to watch True Blood. I had 2 winners. I had a couple not so good ones, but those two are good. But anyway, back to takers.
Yes.
So now that you brought up social media, women destroy each other on social media.
What is that?
And I think it comes from our own insecurities about not feeling like we're enough. And it's a reflection from what men tell us all the time. And I don't like it. There are times when I say to myself, I don't care what a man thinks, right? The relationship that I'm going to have with anybody is here.
Right.
It doesn't matter what I look like. It's always here. So the minute I dismiss, I'm older, I'm this, I don't care. I mean, if that's your whole premise for having a relationship with me, then, oh well, that is a choice that you made. And it's not a choice that I'm going to make to please you. I want to be your friend. If you don't want to be my friend, that's your choice. I don't look good enough to be your friend, then that's okay too.
Yeah.
But you don't have to destroy me because I'm not your whatever.
Do these people get off on this?
Women do.
Really?
Women
That's
get
crazy.
Women get like this. Yeah, I look better than her. Yeah, I look better than her. But then you look at their lives, and their lives sometimes are a mess. Because this is all they're worried about.
It's all they
Instead
see.
of cultivating this and building something wonderful, they've got all this to worry about day in and day out and day in and day out. And I don't know what the statistics are, but when you see supermodels who are considered the creme de la creme of beautiful being cheated on, it don't matter about this anymore.
Okay.
That's just the way I look at it. I'm like, if Cindy Crawford was cheated on or whatever, right? It isn't about looks at all.
Oh my goodness.
That whoever did that is a straight up taker.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And if you're
totally
out there
agree.
spending your time on social media, hurting people to make yourself put little checks on you, male or female, you're a taker. And your life is going to end up with a lot of negatives because of that.
Yeah.
You'll see. While I'm out there just going, I'm a little overweight, I'm older, I'm still above ground, I got some smiles, some jokes.
Yeah,
We're going to have some fun. Oh, you want to hear something funny? We went whale watching yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm about to drop dime on myself. We went to go see our pod because we're overweight. We're going to see the whales, and they're going to go, come in, get in the water, swim with us. No. So it was all smooth going out. I had my big jacket. I was warm and blah, 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 blah. We got some coffee with too much sugar in it. Ew.
And it was cold outside. It was
really
52 degrees outside.
So it got a little choppy.
A lot choppy.
And I wasn't feeling so hot. His pants were getting wet on the bench that we sat on, and he wanted to move, and I couldn't move because I knew I was going to throw up. I haven't thrown up since I was like 21 years old. I'm not dating myself. I was like, wow, is this really happening? So I thought, mind over matter. I can conquer this. I conquered it for at least 40 minutes.
She did very well.
For like 40 minutes, because I know I can do the breathing, the horizon, close your eyes, and it worked. But then it got worse out at sea. Whee! And this guy comes around that's one of the deckhands, and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. He goes, here's some ginger. You want to try some ginger? I mean, this guy looked at me, and I looked so bad that he was trying to give me drugs. And I took them because I was in bad shape.
Tore that open.
And I took one. He said, take two. And I just took one because he wasn't looking so good.
Yeah.
And he wasn't admitting it. But I was like, okay,
the
maybe
breakfast I
it
had.
won't be so bad. But he was looking so pale. So I said, I'm going to take one and I'm going to save this other one in my pocket for him. So I took it, I was sucking on it, and I was feeling a little bit better, and then it got even rockier. And he all gave me a throw-up bag, and I was in that thing. I was like, yeah! And I was like, oh, man. And so I'm trying to drink some water and trying to compose myself, and people are looking at me, which I didn't care, because it was what it was, right? And so we're going along, and Kirk goes, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm getting there, because my stomach settled down.
Mm-hmm.
And there's whales everywhere. Oh, you got to know this? Of course. I'm sitting down, and there's whales over here, whales over there, whales
everywhere.
and
Sunfish.
dolphins, and this rare sunfish. And then she goes, tell her about the
Oh, then she's like, and then there's the 5,000-pound sunfish, and it only swims really slow, so it gets lots
whale
of.
crap.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, one of the whales took a dump, and they're like, "Wow, this never happens. This is so rare. Woohoo! This is great for the ecosystem. Let's watch whale crap. See that brown plume over there?"
And I've got a bag of puke in my hand going. I'm looking at the bag of puke and looking at whale crap, and I'm like, hey, it's a DNA festival here. So anyway, I'm holding the bag thinking, well, my stomach has settled down, but I still didn't want to stand up. And I made it the rest of that trip without throwing up again.
Yeah, she did.
But I gave him the ginger because he was sick.
I shouldn't have.
He finally admitted it. He's like,
I shouldn't have eaten that whole thing too, because that thing burned.
Oh, but it settled your stomach. He didn't throw up.
It didn't settle too much. I mean,
he looked horrible. But I was like,
I was
no.
close. I was close.
So we've decided that we're not going to go whale watching again.
Yeah, we don't. It's not important to see the way. We've seen them once now, and once is enough. This is not something that requires repeat patronage.
Oh, we're only saying that because we got sick. If we hadn't gotten sick, because we've been on 2 boats before. We went on a Mother's Day cruise, a brunch cruise. It was fabulous.
Oh, it was amazing.
We went on a catamaran and just went through everywhere and for a few hours, no problems. We get on this whale watching thing.
It was amazing.
You're going to see your food again.
Yeah.
So anyway.
All right, I guess companies.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, where to begin, where to start. I mean,
pick one.
Takers.
Pick one and take it down.
You know what? Let's talk utilities specifically. Power companies. You want to talk about takers? I mean, oh my goodness. These are, I'm not even going to go with a specific company. Companies in general this day and age have rigged the game against everybody for everything. Just basically line up whichever product that particular company either sells or provides, and they've rigged it to the point where they're ripping you off.
That's right.
And it has gotten so out of control so fast that people are at the end of their rope, and they justify it, especially here in this country, in the United States. The United States are consumers, and so because the consumers, we're going to rip them off. We're going to sell the same product made with the exact same things for 1/10 the price in Europe. Why? Because Europe doesn't allow their people to get ripped off like our government does. And you want to talk about taking? I mean, just pick your company. Amazon. Your local electric company. Oh my, water companies. I mean, they don't actually make the water. All they do is transport it from one place, point A to point B. Of course, unless you live in a data center centric area, and they're ripping off the water. So talk about taking. Not only are they taking your data and giving it away and during data breaches, but they're taking all the water away too to cool all the systems so they can be hacked, throw to the data breach. But you get my point. Car manufacturers talk about taking. I mean, nobody can afford a new car. And the used cars, even the used car market takers. I mean, you had a car on a lot, 200,000 miles, and they want the same amount of money it costs brand new practically. Seriously? I mean, gas companies. You name it. Take.
Cell phone companies are the one that I want to talk about, are takers. They make these phones, and they come out with an iteration every year. Now, I'm not one of those people that have to have the newest and the greatest and the latest every year. I don't care what the Joneses, the Smiths, or whatever has. I just care that my crap works. If my crap ain't working, that's when I replace it. But I don't see a need to change something every year. That's wasteful, and it's also taking. The reason why I say it's taking is because our landfills are full of things with people trying to keep up with the Joneses. Stop that, please. You can keep a cell phone for the one that I have is very old. It's probably like 7 or 8 years old.
Yes.
And that's fine. It still works. It still dials. It still texts. It does everything. It still takes updates. It's all good. So I'm trying not to be that person that has to have something every year just because it is. It's not. Is it really that important that you have the latest and the greatest? Or is it more important that whatever you have now functions? Think of how much money you can save by not doing that every year. I mean, these phones, they charge you like $1,000 for them.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
They cost about $300 to make. $700. Can you imagine now with the gas prices and, utility prices and everything, what that $700 could translate into, offsetting some of your other things? So I think cell phone places are takers because they laugh at us. And those contracts you sell, they sell you for your services. They're not selling you anything. That's just extra gravy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
they sit there and they say,
save your money.
Get the next cell phone, trade it in, and you only pay X dollars. No, believe me. They're getting the fee for that cell phone
and $50,
out of your backside.
And $50 a month is too much money for a single line on a cell phone. It is.
Oh, my goodness.
That's too much money. I mean, what are you getting? Right?
Air.
When the phone can text for itself and make phone calls by using telepathy and know what you're thinking, then I'll consider the $50. But if it can't use telepathy, it ain't getting $50 from me. It just ain't. That would be the biggest taker.
And
I know that it sounds weird. Like you look at your phone and go, and not say a word and just dial so-and-so. I mean, without saying anything, if you could do that, it'd be worth $50.
And make no mistake, this
but
stuff
I
is
know I'm making fun.
Costs. I mean, once they have all the hardware in these different centers and the towers and stuff, it's there. It's not going anywhere. And you pumping in tons of money year after year after year, and it goes up and up and up. You're on the same piece of gear that they installed 6 years ago?
Same thing.
Yeah.
They're takers.
Just some examples.
Oh, yeah. So next we have, is your boss a taker?
Oh.
Okay. Most people are scheduled 8 hours and paid for 8 hours. Some bosses like to ask you to stay over late. You look at your check and it still only reflects 8 hours. Oh, yeah, he's a taker. While he's at home having dinner with his family, you're doing the excess work and you're not getting reimbursed for it. Is that a taker? That's a taker. And I hear a lot of people do that. Or the new thing they're doing, companies, back to companies, is advertising for jobs and not letting you know how much you're going to make. I read an entire article online that said this woman who had a 4-year degree went and applied for a job, thinking that the job would reflect the 4 years that she did in college. She waited her 2 weeks and realized that she was only getting minimum wage for a managerial position. So there were laws put in some of these states that said, you have to post how much you're paying for these jobs.
People, let me give you a small piece of advice. Big
time.
I've been in the working industry, the working world now for the better part of 35 plus years, and I have never, ever walked out of an interview and not known what the salary was. If you're going on a job interview or going through the interview process and you have no concept or clue of what the salary is, that's question number one. People, don't feel embarrassed to ask it. If the company you're interviewing with gives you the feeling that that's something that shouldn't be on the table for discussion, get up, turn around, and walk out the door. And if every single job-seeking individual did that, that little practice would stop. I don't know when this began, but
years ago, because that's
because
why
this is something I've never encountered. And trust me when I tell you, I'm in the IT industry, and up until my last position, I was averaging moving every 2 to 3 years, just by sheer virtue of that's the gig. So interviewing is something I'm extraordinarily intimately familiar with. You don't talk salary, you don't take the job.
Well, they're
Flat.
takers. This was
They are
deception
takers.
all day
You
long.
got that right.
And I just wanted to bring that up because I don't want you to fall for
That's a
that.
great
Just
point.
like what he said. Got to watch your companies. Got to watch your bosses. Your bosses can be the biggest takers out of anybody because they're your boss. You don't want to piss your boss off, right? So they
Yeah.
can get you to do things that are highly unfair to you. You know, even work a couple of different positions and still have that same single pay. That's a taker,
Yeah. Or
right? Or you can have a boss that helps you move up in the situation, right? And shows you, you know, the path to success. They're out there too.
yeah.
So we don't just want to be Debbie Downer. We want to tell you that there are some good people out there too that will promote you, will show you that you're good in this area. Maybe you ought to go this path or that path and lead you in a good direction and even become friends, you know?
Mhm.
So they're not all bad out there.
Yeah, there's some makers out there. There's
Yes,
plenty
makers.
of bosses that are
You
makers.
got that right.
Plenty.
You got that right.
Let's see here. Oh, some of the biggest takers and makers on the planet. Your family members, and you know who you are. When you have a family and you grow up with these people, brothers, sisters, cousins, second cousins, aunts, uncles, the whole gamut of individuals. You learn pretty quick which ones who help you, you help them, or the ones that you do for them, they don't do for you, and
Expect it.
expect it. Yeah, because we're family. I'm sure you've all heard that term. Hey, you need to be there for me because we're family, and there are certain ethnicities that are greater or lesser. I've known a lot of Italian folks in my day, and that's a very common thing to hear. You do for family, you help for family, you do for family. And, I guess that's good up to a point. Yes, you kind of want to help out your family, but there are those individuals, and you know who you are. And those of you who are on the receiving or taking end of this know who they are as well. And yeah, it's not good. I mean, just because, there's this saying out there, blood is relative, but family is loyalty.
I don't know
Or
about that.
something like that.
Nah.
What, did I
It's
say
crap.
it wrong?
Okay, every family has some parasite. Okay, I'm not telling. Succubus, baby. The rest of us are working really hard, and then somebody comes, well, you have more than we do. And because we've worked for it. So that doesn't give you right to slither into our houses and take our money.
Or
Whatever. I mean, like I said, yeah, let's just get down to brass tacks, people. Even if you're an only child, you have a cousin that's everybody says, stay away from, watch your wallet. Yeah, those are the takers. And everybody else is out there working really hard, building a life, building this, building that, and cousin it over there, or brother it, or sister it. Everybody has to hide from them at the family reunions and stuff. Oh, the holidays are coming. So-and-so's going to ask you for some money. Those are the takers,
I can't
right?
do a cousin it.
So I personally have been the victim of a cousinette or a
She's got a
sister.
lot more family than I do. So,
But I only allowed it for so long, and then I stopped it cold. Because I said, there's a pattern here. I give, you take. You're not grateful. You expect. Not grateful. Expect. That's a taker. Watch those people out there. When you do something kind for them, the first thing that you will never hear is thank you. You won't hear that. You'll hear, wow, this, blah, 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 about how wonderful they are. And I've watched this and I'm like, you know what? I wish at this point that I did not know the English language because I'm so mad I could just crack a dime.
I've seen
Snap.
her. I've seen her. She
Crack a dime, baby. Crack that dime. You're like, oh boy, too bad we're in public. Woo-hoo-hoo. And I don't like to cuss a lot, but I've dropped some. I'm like, woo-hoo-hoo. And then you just move on. And then you put that little note, note to self. Don't be stupid and do that again. Otherwise,
yeah.
They're no longer the taker. They're the maker. Why are they the maker? Because they made your dumb butt do it. Hear that again. They made your dumb butt do it. So you end up being taken. So you're the taker and they're the maker.
That's
because
right.
They're making you give them stuff. So I just wanted to put that out there. So you can be the good guy and then turn into the bad guy because you're not stopping this behavior. It takes a while to learn, especially if it's a relative. You're like, oh, so Aunt so-and-so is going to be mad, or Mom's going to be mad, or Dad's going to be mad. So this is a whole dynamic because it's a family, right? So how do you navigate that when you come from a big family like my family? Well, somebody's going to say, well, I don't think that's right. Well, if you don't think it's right, how about you give them the money? And then they go, no. They asked you. See? Snakes amongst you. You got to watch it. And I've told siblings, I'm like, you know what? If you don't think this is a problem, why don't you do it? Because I'm done.
Yeah, and you have to.
And
if
you do.
Don't,
and then if you
they'll take
never do
advantage.
it again. Oh,
Family members will take it. I mean, you talk about that old saying, take a country mile after you give an inch. Oh, yeah.
That's right. So you just keep that in mind, that you're really not helping in that word enabling. You're enabling. You are enabling. If you're doing enabling, they're a taker. Enable the taker.
Plain and simple.
Enabling taking. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that funny how that just kind of glides right into that other word?
Oh, yeah.
So, family members can be everything. They can be loving, wonderful, toxic takers.
And depending on the type of, and depending, kind of segues, because depending upon the type of family you have, it could be your neighbors too.
Oh, no. And when I was growing up, we lived down the street from my uncle.
Oh, boy.
But he was wonderful, though. He used to love to cook. And he'd cook outside. And he had a big backyard, so we can smell our uncle's food. And it was so good. He made all of his sauces from scratch. He was amazing.
Ooh.
So we would smell. He said, oh, my God, Uncle Larry's cooking. Let's go. We go over there, and he'd always feed his nieces, right? Nephews. We'd be like, Uncle. He goes, I made extra. That kind of thing. But, not all relatives, neighbors are, So, yeah, no. But this was a good connection.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle would feed his nieces and nephews because they were little and they were down the street and whatever. So, till that one time when he killed a chicken and cut its head off and it kept running around his yard, I was scared. And he knew it. I started crying. I go, why'd you do that? He goes, so you could eat. I'm like, I don't want to eat anymore.
Yeah, I think we'd all be vegetarians if we actually had to sit around and watch our meat being prepared.
And he actually sat down and explained to me. And I was probably about 4. This is how food is.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just do the deed and not give the explanation. So he was a maker. He made me understand as a small child that this has to happen for this product, for your food, right? So he made it not so bad because I was mortified, and he didn't see me walking down the street anyway. I just saw the chicken and I was like, where's the head? Right?
Mhm.
Uncle. He's like, oh, my niece sees that. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah, we experienced that in Boy Scouts. We all had to kill our own chicken. And
No, I'm not.
and
I'm not. Your Boy Scouts were, tales from the dark side.
Deep
Some of that
Woods
stuff should
pioneers.
not.
We were the ultra faction of the Boy Scouts.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
we were like the
He
the
was
special
a maker,
forces
though.
of the Boy Scouts.
Uncle was a maker. He was a teacher, and he was a giver.
Nice.
I just wanted to put that in there because
Okay.
he was a giver. Didn't expect anything in return. We loved him until the day he died, and still talk fondly about him. Okay, that's a maker. And his Boy Scout troop, no. When you start singing those songs,
makers. We made a lot of hay. We had fun. We were making stuff. We were makers.
you're singing R-rated songs. That's kind of
Aye,
who teaches.
Your mother swims out to greet troop ships.
I rest my case. So this guy has generations of boys out there singing songs about prostitution.
Yeah.
Is that a maker or is that a taker? I'll let you decide.
Okay.
Now, what happens when the boy goes to school?
Well, we were smart enough to not sing those.
Well, then you knew it was wrong.
school.
You knew it was wrong.
We were intelligent.
But you knew it was wrong.
No.
So if you didn't know it was wrong, why don't you go sing it to your principal?
I'm sure the principal would have joined in with this, knowing that guy.
Oh, boy. Okay. And lastly, we're going to talk about makers and takers, neighbors.
Ooh, good topic.
Who
topic.
Who lives next door? I've had some really strange neighbors. I lived in a rental, and we were going out to dinner, Kirk and I. And the babysitter accidentally let my son get out. And the neighbor across the street had our son, and they were looking for him. And so they ended up calling the police, and the neighbor decided that he was just going to keep my child because he found him. And so the police had to go over there and tell him that just because you find a child doesn't mean you can keep the child. I am not even joking to you people. Hear me out. There is a police force person that remembers this story because he got angry and said, "Return the child now."
This was the makings of a Criminal Minds episode. I'm telling you.
When we got the news, we got a phone call saying the neighbor would not return the child, and the police had to threaten him. We got back home, and the next day he was standing in his front yard with arrows, shooting arrows and looking at us when we were mowing the front yard as a threat that I guess he thought that the child, now once free, belongs to him.
Yep.
So be careful who you live by. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't know about Criminal Minds, but I do know 5150. And that guy was crazy. If you don't know what 5150 is, good, because that means you're not crazy too. That is the call sign for law enforcement and mental health to come and get you. 5150.
Oh, yeah.
He was there with me when
crazy.
this happened.
It was crazy. I don't know what the guy was thinking, but he was. The very next day, he was out there with a target, his compound bow, and arrows, and he was shooting in his front yard. This is a pure residential area, a place where one does not shoot bows and arrows, because if you screw up and miss, you might kill somebody. I mean, it's a very real possibility. And it just, he was a great kind of microcosmic example of neighbors that go over the edge, people who let their grass, or build yard type things on your property. Inch by inch, they start taking things over. Parking in front of your house or taking up driveway space. I mean, it just, the gamut. You have a fence that separates and you need to repair the fence, and you get stuck with paying the majority or lion's share of it. Well, they're takers because they're going to get to enjoy the fence as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's just this long, long list. I mean, takers and makers come in all varieties. And you can spot takers a mile away because they're a net negative. And it doesn't matter what you believe, if you don't believe in the word, karma or anything. Everybody usually, everybody says the kinds of sayings like what goes around comes around. Well, that's all tied together. And they're just takers all around. And it just seems like there's so many more of them than there are makers right now.
Well, to tell you the truth, the reason why the takers, because they're loud. They're loud and they make you think they're off-putting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A taker comes and first there has to be some manipulation. So then you have to sort through the crap that they're telling you because they intend on taking something for you, but they have to glamour you first, like vampires, sucking sound, mm-hmm. right? So they glamour you and they say, they butter you up and they do all these wonderful things that you think are wonderful. But if you're smart enough and the temperament or this type of person, they're shoveling BS. But still, you're curious, so you listen. You're like, oh, inside you're running this dialogue. What kind of crap are they after this time? Or what are they going to hit me up with? And we've all done that. And then sometimes we try to slink away and just put your hand up and go, stop. Just stop now.
Yep.
Right? Because you know that you're face to face with a taker. Somebody that changes everything about themselves to glamour you, to get something from you. Money, favor, whatever, right? Those are some of the worst takers ever. Why? Because they're working so hard, so the take is going to be big.
Yeah.
Because if they're changing and they're lying and they're groveling and they're doing all this research on how to hit your buttons, they're the worst of all takers. And then you've run into people that truly would give the shirt off of their backs, have lifted you up, led you down a positive path, mm-hmm. shown you the way out of whatever situation you were, never expected a thing, want to see you succeed. Those are your makers. The ones that write the self-help books, the ones that sit around and go, hey, this helped me, passing on wisdom, right? Or the ones that see that you're so far down here, let me get you up. Let me give you this. Let me give you that.
So
out of just kindness and love.
See you working in your front yard, stop what they're doing to give you a hand.
Right. Those are your makers. Your makers are the ones that the minute you see them, smiles. The minute you think of them, smiles. I hope their lives are full of joy and happiness. Those are some of the, and they may not have a lot, mm-hmm. but they're willing to share what they have.
That's right.
Those are your true makers. They're the ones that are guiding you in a specific way, and they're showing you a way of joy, a way of peace, a way of caring for yourself and others that brings nothing but calm and just, yay, bravo.
Yeah.
And
did.
I love people like that. And there are just as many out there. But like I said, the takers are so loud. They're like me in your face all the time. They're, me, right? And then they get you absorbed in their drama. And then you feel obligated to help them, but they don't truly at all, respect you or care about you. It's all about that taking.
You mean like those organizations that if you don't hit the 10% tithing, they make you feel like you haven't done enough? We didn't get into the religion part of the takers, but
no, and
we could.
But on an individual basis, we deal with takers and makers, and you can tell. You can truly tell.
Yeah, it's
a
obvious.
Person that is a taker. A taker has a laundry list of things that you have to adhere to. And a maker, nope. Here. Go, no. Somebody helped me a long time ago. I'm paying it forward. Not asking for anything. A taker, it's going to cost you. And after you help them, guess what? You don't even feel good about it.
Yeah.
Because they demanded it from you.
Yep.
So I'm trying to give as many ideas of takers and makers that I can think of. And I'm sure you guys have a ton of them yourselves. So it's like the extremes that you think it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Hopefully this clears. Yeah. Hopefully it clears up.
Oh, do you hear us?
Question.
Leon?
Yeah. Do you get it?
You ask the question. I'm trying to answer it, my friend. Send me some tropical weather. Anyway.
Please.
Guess what? Mother's Day, he and I got matching watches. This is my Phoenix, and this
dragon
is his dragon. To go with the dragon and the Phoenix. Is that the coolest thing you've ever seen?
It is cool.
Can you
I
see
like
that?
it.
My Phoenix
Mine's
has
upside
three
down,
tails.
but you can see it.
She has three tails.
No, the feathers.
And they're the tail feathers.
Oh, they're the tail feathers. Okay.
Like a chicken. Yeah. So if you encounter, the person that makes you smile, yeah, that's your maker. If you encounter the person that doesn't make you smile, that makes you want to skip out the back door,
those are your takers. Yeah, and it's obvious.
Mm-hmm. It's very
Usually
obvious.
It's never very subtle.
No, takers are very loud, boisterous people
Donald
that
Trump.
demand, and everybody owes them, and
Ever think about Donald Trump?
And everything that happened in their lives they're victims of everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm a victim, so you have to help me because I've been victimized, and my childhood was bad, and blah 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 blah.
Nothing more irritating.
One of my
than a
siblings
billionaire
had the nerve to
victim.
say that to me. What?
I said nothing more irritating than a billionaire victim.
One of my siblings had the nerve to say that. I think maybe she had a cocktail or two. Because, I had such a bad childhood. I'm like, I was there. It's like, I'm looking at her like this. I'm like, who do you think you're talking to? Have you been drinking? I was right there. Tell me you had a bad childhood. That was one of the takers. I'm like, I think you forgot who you were talking to.
That's a drop the mic moment right there.
But it's true. Well,
Yep.
What about your brother? The one that can make mud. Oh, let him tell that story.
Mom, Kirk and Troy won't teach me how to make mud.
I couldn't believe that. I'm like, you're kidding, aren't you?
Challenge. Still challenged to this day, 30, 40 years later.
See,
Okay.
We all have family.
There we go.
Weird family. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun and enlightening and stuff like that. But I just want you to have a good day. And hopefully we're making your day better.
Yeah.
My name is Sandra.
And I'm Kirk.
And this has been a public service show. And are you a maker or are you a taker? Or are people in your life making you happy or taking you down?
Hit us up on the website, thepublicservice.org. Check us out. Check out the message board. Drop in. Send us some love. Give us some notes. Give us some topics of conversation, because we'll be there.
Yes, we will.
You have been watching a public service show. America is part of a global community. Sandra and I are well aware that the American experience had the hope for freedom. America isn't perfect by any means, and we are currently having our freedoms tested. Here at the Public Service Show, we're going to look at how and why we're at this point in America.